Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying this: there is nothing more dangerous to your peace of mind than giving a narcissist power over you. They thrive on your reactions. They live for the moments you lose yourself in their games. But today we're flipping the script. Today I'll give you 7 ways to torture a narcissist, not through revenge, but by rising above. Reclaiming your power is the most crucial step when dealing with a narcissist. A narcissist thrives on the energy and reactions they elicit from those around them. They have an uncanny ability to manipulate, twist situations, and provoke emotional responses to validate their superiority. But here's the thing: they can only do that if you let them. They can only hold control over you if you give it to them. Understanding this is the first step toward taking back control of your life. When you stop reacting to their provocations, you take the power back. And that's something they can't handle. A narcissist feeds off emotional reactions because it allows them to maintain their sense of control. Their entire world is built around themselves, and they need to constantly affirm their importance through the reactions and feelings of others. When you respond to their behavior, whether it's anger, sadness, frustration, or fear, you become an extension of their narrative. You allow them to dictate how you feel, and by doing so, you hand over your power to them. This is what they want. It's what they live for. They manipulate you into emotional submission because it feeds their need for validation and dominance. When you stop reacting, you disrupt their control. Imagine being in a room where someone is desperately trying to provoke a response. They say something outrageous, expecting to see anger, defensiveness, or distress. But what if you just stood there, silent and unmoved? What if instead of giving them the emotional outburst they craved, you gave them nothing? That silence, that calm, is where your power lies. In that moment, you regain control. You become the one who dictates the narrative, not them. It's not easy, I know. Narcissists are masters at pushing your buttons, pulling at your heartstrings, and making you question your own worth. They thrive on making you feel small, insignificant, or like you owe them something. But when you understand that their power over you is based on your reaction, you start to see them for what they truly are: vulnerable and weak. Deep down, they fear being exposed for the frauds they are, so they keep pushing and pulling, trying to keep you off balance. Taking back control means recognizing that you have a choice. You don't have to engage with their drama. You don't have to be swept up in their emotional manipulation. You have the ability to choose how you respond, and when you choose not to react, you send them a message that their games no longer have any hold over you. You stop being a pawn in their twisted game, and that's a victory they can't stand. When you reclaim your power, you also start to rebuild your self-worth. Narcissists often make you doubt your own feelings, perceptions, and beliefs. They gaslight you, distort reality, and make you second-guess your own instincts. But when you stop reacting to their provocations, you reconnect with yourself, you trust your own judgment again, and you take back the strength they once stole from you. Ultimately, reclaiming your power isn't about confronting the narcissist head-on or trying to change them. It's about changing your response. It's about taking control of your own emotions and refusing to let them manipulate you. When you do that, you regain your independence, your peace, and your dignity. And that is something no narcissist can ever take from you. One of the most powerful ways to disarm a narcissist is to starve their ego. Narcissists live for admiration, praise, and validation. They thrive on being the center of attention, constantly needing others to feed their sense of importance and superiority. It's how they maintain their inflated sense of self-worth. So the most effective strategy you can employ is simple yet profound: stop giving them the admiration and validation they crave. This doesn't mean being rude or dismissive, but it means no longer participating in their game. When you stop providing the constant reinforcement they expect, you strip away the foundation that holds their fragile ego together. Narcissists rely on others to reflect their idealized image of themselves. They need to hear how amazing they are, how much they're admired, and how essential they are to the world around them. Without this validation, their self-esteem crumbles, and they begin to unravel. But here's the catch: this isn't about insulting them or trying to diminish their value. It's about removing the fuel they need to keep their ego inflated. Narcissists are not accustomed to being ignored or being seen for who they really are rather than the image they've carefully constructed. When you stop showering them with praise, acknowledging their supposed greatness, or feeding their exaggerated self-perception, you begin to shift the power dynamic. Narcissists seek admiration in all forms, whether it's compliments, attention, or constant praise for their achievements. And when they don't get it, they feel threatened. They might lash out, seek validation from someone else, or even attempt to manipulate you into giving them the attention they crave. But the key here is consistency. When you stop feeding into this need for admiration, you send a clear message: you are not an instrument for their ego boost. You are not here to play their game or affirm their delusions. The real struggle for a narcissist is their inner insecurity. Despite their grandiose self-image, they are often plagued by deep self-doubt and fear of being exposed. Their inflated sense of self is a shield they use to protect themselves from the pain of not feeling enough. When you stop giving them the validation they rely on, you remove that shield, and they have to face the vulnerability beneath. They no longer have the external validation to hide behind, and without it, their entire identity is at risk of collapsing. However, this is not a quick fix. Narcissists are persistent, and they may try to reel you back in by playing on your emotions or manipulating you into giving them the validation they're used to. They may act hurt or try to guilt trip you. But the longer you stand your ground, the more likely they are to abandon their efforts. The more you refuse to feed their ego, the more you expose their fragility. By starving their ego, you also strengthen your own sense of self. Narcissists often condition others to believe they need to rely on them for validation. They make you question your worth, making you feel as if you are not enough unless they approve of you. But when you stop feeding into their need for constant admiration, you reclaim your independence. You stop seeking approval from someone who will never truly satisfy that need, and you begin to find your own source of self-worth. Ultimately, starving a narcissist's ego is about disempowering their need for constant validation. It's about making them confront the truth they can't live off the admiration of others forever. And when you stop giving them that energy, you take back control of the situation. Establishing clear and firm boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from a narcissist's manipulation. Narcissists have a way of crossing lines, pushing limits, and making you feel as if your needs, feelings, and values don't matter. They test your boundaries constantly, trying to see how much they can take from you and how far they can go without facing any resistance. But when you establish boundaries, you create a shield around yourself that is almost like kryptonite to their manipulative tactics. The first step in setting boundaries with a narcissist is recognizing that you deserve to have them in the first place. Narcissists often operate under the assumption that the world revolves around them and that their needs are the most important. They believe that the people in their lives should prioritize their wants and desires above everything else. They manipulate, guilt trip, and sometimes even bully others into compliance, expecting that their personal space, time, and energy will be available at their convenience. But the truth is, you don't owe anyone that kind of access to your life. You have every right to set limits that protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. Boundaries are not about controlling the other person, they're about controlling how you engage with them. Narcissists will often test your boundaries in subtle and not so subtle ways. They may try to guilt you into doing something for them, make unreasonable demands, or try to manipulate you into breaking your own limits. It's easy to fall into the trap of pleasing them, especially when they turn on the charm or make you feel guilty for saying no. But this is where the power of clear and firm boundaries comes into play. When you define what you will and will not tolerate, you give yourself the authority to stop the cycle of manipulation. When you set a boundary with a narcissist, be clear and firm about it. Don't leave room for negotiation or doubt. A narcissist thrives on ambiguity because it gives them the opportunity to twist the situation in their favor. If you hesitate, second-guess yourself, or back down from your boundary, they'll exploit that weakness and push you further into submission. The more decisive and unyielding you are in setting boundaries, the more likely it is that they'll back off. If you consistently show that you will not tolerate certain behaviors, they'll eventually learn that you are not an easy target for their manipulation. It's also important to remember that boundaries must be upheld consistently. Narcissists will test them, sometimes repeatedly, to see if they can wear you down or break you. But when you stand firm, you communicate that you value yourself enough to protect your peace. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty or even fear rejection or conflict. But the longer you maintain these boundaries, the stronger your sense of self becomes. And over time, you'll realize that the narcissist's ability to manipulate you diminishes because they know they can no longer push you around. Setting boundaries with a narcissist doesn't mean you have to be harsh or confrontational. It's about establishing your limits in a way that is respectful yet firm. If they cross a line, calmly remind them of the boundary and enforce it. If they refuse to respect your limits, distance yourself or remove yourself from the situation. The more you demonstrate that you will not tolerate disrespect or manipulation, the less power the narcissist will have over you. Ultimately, establishing boundaries is a statement of self-respect. It's about showing the narcissist, and more importantly, yourself, that your needs matter. It's about protecting your time, energy, and peace of mind and refusing to let someone else take control of your life. When you establish clear and firm boundaries, you take away the narcissist's ability to manipulate you, and you reclaim your autonomy. And that, in itself, is a powerful victory. Staying unbothered is one of the most effective ways to deal with a narcissist. A narcissist thrives on chaos, drama, and emotional reactions. They'll do anything to provoke a response from you, whether it's through manipulation, emotional outbursts, or passive-aggressive behavior. Their primary goal is to get under your skin, to create a disturbance in your peace, and feed off the emotional energy that results. But when you choose to stay calm, cool, and collected, you completely disarm their tactics. You stop playing into their hands and regain control of the situation. A narcissist's sense of power comes from the ability to provoke a reaction. They want to see you flustered, angry, sad, or even desperate. They want to see you lose your composure because that confirms to them that they have control over your emotions. If they can make you feel vulnerable or off balance, they feel validated in their manipulation. But when you remain unbothered, when you refuse to give them the emotional response they are fishing for, you take away their source of power. Remaining unbothered doesn't mean being indifferent or detached. It means maintaining your emotional composure despite their efforts to disrupt it. It means not allowing their actions to control your peace of mind. The best way to stay unbothered is to cultivate an inner sense of calm and strength. When you know your worth and stand firm in your values, it becomes much harder for a narcissist to shake you. They can only get to you if you let them. This doesn't come naturally, especially when narcissists know exactly which buttons to push. They'll criticize you, belittle you, or try to bait you into a confrontation. They might play the victim, make false accusations, or try to escalate a situation to make you feel guilty or defensive. But the more you can remain calm in the face of their chaos, the more you take away their ability to manipulate you. It's essential to practice emotional detachment in these situations. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or pretend you're unaffected. It simply means that you don't let your emotions control your behavior. If a narcissist insults you or tries to provoke a reaction, you can choose to walk away, give them a neutral response, or even remain silent. Their attempts to rile you up will lose their power because they realize they aren't getting the reaction they want. The key to staying unbothered is perspective. Narcissists are often insecure and driven by a need to prove their superiority. Their outbursts and attempts to control you are a reflection of their internal struggles, not your value. When you understand this, you stop taking their behavior personally. You can see their actions for what they truly are: attempts to manipulate and dominate rather than legitimate critiques or attacks. When you stay unbothered, you not only protect your peace, but you also begin to detach from the narcissist narrative. They can no longer shape your emotions or reality. You become the observer, not the participant. And over time, they will begin to see that their usual tactics no longer work. This can be incredibly frustrating for them because a narcissist needs your emotional engagement to feel validated. When they don't get that, they're left with nothing. Ultimately, staying unbothered is an act of self-respect and self-preservation. It's about choosing not to let someone else's chaos dictate your state of mind. The more you practice this, the stronger you become in your ability to maintain your peace, regardless of what others try to throw your way. It's one of the most powerful ways to disarm a narcissist and protect your own well-being. Focusing on your growth is one of the most empowering and liberating choices you can make when dealing with a narcissist. Narcissists thrive on attention, drama, and control, and they will do everything in their power to distract you from your path. Their manipulative tactics are designed to keep you entangled in their web of chaos, drawing your focus away from what truly matters: your personal development, your goals, and your dreams. But when you shift the attention back to yourself and your own growth, you reclaim the narrative of your life and stop allowing anyone, especially a narcissist, to dictate your journey. The narcissist's world revolves around them, and they want your world to revolve around them too. They demand constant attention, validation, and energy, leaving little room for your own aspirations. If you allow this, you'll find yourself constantly reacting to their whims, giving up your time and energy, and losing sight of your own goals. This cycle is exhausting and unsustainable. You can't move forward if your focus is always on someone else's needs, desires, or drama. The key to breaking free from this is to consciously redirect your energy back to your own growth. Your goals, dreams, and self-improvement are powerful tools for reclaiming your life. When you focus on what you want to achieve, you stop giving narcissists the satisfaction of drawing you into their chaos. This doesn't mean ignoring their behavior or letting them walk all over you. It means recognizing that their attempts to derail you are just distractions. You have a vision for your life, and that vision is far more important than the narcissist's need for control or validation. By choosing to prioritize your own growth, you begin to build a life that is driven by your own ambitions, not by their manipulations. Self-improvement is a continual process, and focusing on it helps you stay grounded and centered. When you invest in yourself, whether through education, personal development, fitness, or emotional growth, you send a clear message to the narcissist that you have no interest in playing their games. Your progress becomes the priority, and you refuse to let anyone pull you off course. This shift in focus not only builds your self-confidence, but also reinforces your sense of purpose. As you invest in your growth, you develop resilience, independence, and a strong sense of identity, all of which make it harder for a narcissist to influence or manipulate you. Moreover, when you focus on your growth, you start to surround yourself with people who support your aspirations and values. Narcissists will often try to isolate you or make you feel as though your dreams aren't worth pursuing. But when you shift the attention to what truly matters to you, you attract people who respect and value your goals. These relationships empower you to keep moving forward, and they remind you that you are worthy of the time and energy it takes to pursue your dreams. Ultimately, focusing on your growth is the antidote to the narcissist's distractions and manipulations. It's an act of self-preservation and self-empowerment. When you focus on what you want out of life, you stop being a passive participant in their drama and become the active architect of your own future. This shift in focus is not just about achieving success, it's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. When you stop giving the narcissist your attention, you make room for your own evolution. You stop letting their dysfunction define you, and instead you define your own life, one where your dreams, growth, and goals take center stage. Controlling the narrative when dealing with a narcissist is about taking ownership of your own story and ensuring that no one else, especially a narcissist, has the power to distort or rewrite it. Narcissists thrive on manipulation and control, and one of their favorite tactics is twisting the truth to fit their own agenda. They will try to distort facts, paint you in a negative light, or twist your words to make themselves appear as the victim or the hero. But when you speak your truth confidently, you regain control and prevent them from changing the story to suit their needs. The narcissist's goal is to create confusion, to make you doubt yourself, and to shift the focus away from their behavior onto yours. They are experts at gaslighting, a psychological manipulation that makes you question your own perceptions, memories, and sanity. If you let them, They'll try to manipulate your reality and make you feel as though you're the one who is out of line. But when you control the narrative, you no longer allow them to control the story. Speaking your truth confidently doesn't mean being confrontational or aggressive. It simply means standing firm in your beliefs, knowing that your perspective is valid and refusing to let anyone, including a narcissist, alter your reality. In conclusion, dealing with a narcissist is a test of strength, resilience, and self-awareness. Narcissists thrive on control, manipulation, and emotional responses, but by adopting a mindset that centers on reclaiming your power, you can break free from their grasp. When you stop reacting to their provocations, you take the first step toward disempowering them. You refuse to be their emotional puppet, and in doing so, you regain control over your own life and emotions. This act of reclaiming your power is essential not only for protecting your peace, but also for rebuilding your self-worth. By stopping their manipulation before it can take root, you stop being a participant in their drama and start living life on your own terms. Next, starving their ego is another powerful tool in this battle. Narcissists are addicted to validation and they need constant praise to maintain their inflated self-image. When you stop feeding into their need for admiration, you take away the fuel that keeps their ego alive. This doesn't mean being unkind or dismissive, but it means recognizing that you are not obligated to feed into their false sense of superiority. When you stop providing the validation they crave, they begin to feel vulnerable, and their control over you weakens. You no longer become a source of their inflated sense of self-worth. Establishing boundaries is equally critical in this process. Narcissists are experts at crossing lines, pushing limits, and demanding access to your time and energy. But by setting clear and firm boundaries, you communicate that you will not tolerate manipulation or disrespect. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out, they are declarations of self-respect. They protect your mental and emotional well-being and force others, especially narcissists, to treat you with the respect you deserve. The more you enforce these boundaries consistently, the more you reclaim control over your interactions and interactions with them. Remaining unbothered in the face of a narcissist's chaos is another invaluable strategy. Narcissists love to stir up drama and provoke emotional responses. They want to see you angry, distressed, or reacting to their behavior. But when you stay calm, cool, and collected, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing you lose your composure. You rob them of their power because a narcissist thrives on emotional reactions. By staying unbothered, you communicate that you are no longer invested in their drama, and this forces them to confront their own lack of control. Lastly, controlling the narrative ensures that the narcissist doesn't have the opportunity to distort your truth. Narcissists are masters at twisting reality, manipulating facts, and making you feel as though you are in the wrong. But when you speak your truth confidently and without fear, you set the record straight. You show that you will not let anyone, including a narcissist, reframe your reality. By standing firm in your truth, you make it clear that their manipulations have no place in your life. In the end, defeating a narcissist is not about engaging in their games or trying to change them. It's about changing how you respond. By reclaiming your power, starving their ego, setting boundaries, staying unbothered, and controlling the narrative, you take back control of your life. You become the one who dictates your reality, not them. And remember, you are stronger than any narcissist's attempts to undermine you. When you refuse to play their game, you win. So my friends, remember this: the battle with a narcissist isn't won by fighting fire with fire. It's won by refusing to burn. Stand firm, protect your peace, and never forget you are stronger than they'll ever let you believe. Thank you.